Foremost Ijaw national leader, Chief Edwin Clark, yesterday said Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, must leave People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the party to overcome its current travails. In an open letter to Umar Damagum, acting chairman of the PDP, Clark said he will not allow Wike to destroy the country's main opposition party and River State. The PANDEF leader alleged that Wike is ready to use his closeness to President Bola Tinubu to muscle anyone who disagrees with him in River State.
This is a man who said before, criticized Matawale for defecting to APC, criticizing the man, the former governor of Edwin State, or mayor or something, for leaving PDP, and criticizing Ayade, the former governor of Cross River, for Cross. Today, Wike is dancing in APC, pretending that he's working for President Tinubu to become the next president in 2027. That is not true. I'm indeed very sorry. And I feel very sad that President Tinubu, a renowned politician, a strong politician, an experienced politician, should allow himself to be misled by a man like Wike, who has no standard.
Meanwhile, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says he remains a genuine member of the main opposition People's Democratic Party. Fubara's reassurance comes after rumors that he was on the verge of decamping to a relatively unknown political party due to his face-off with former Governor Nyesom Wike. The governor hosted members of the PDP Board of Trustees at Government House in Port Harcourt.
I'm happy that today they are with us here to discuss the issue of River State. And I want to assure members of our party, genuine members of PDP that are here with us, that this is another hope to show that our decision to stand by the party, still standing by the party, is not the wrong decision.
When we heard or read, speculations, perceptions, and what have you, that we, the party, if we're not careful, might lose River State. Of course, if we lose River State, then Nigeria has lost the future. Nigeria has lost its future. We don't want what happened in 2015, 2023 to repeat itself. These men and women you see here are very neutral. But as a conscience of the party, we must go by the rule of law.
All right, Rotus, let's start off in, PDP, River State, what's going on there, the main opposition party, a time for a reconciliation and disciplinary committee. About time or too late? Your take on this?
I'm going to leave the political stuff to you guys. Look, before the Bureau of Statistics rejigged unemployment numbers, River State's, I think Q4 2020 had unemployment rates of 41.5%. Underemployment was 17.6. You put it together, it's about 59.2. So almost 60% unemployment plus underemployment in River State, one of the highest IGR, states that earn its own internally generated revenue. Amidst all this political stuff that's going on, this back and forth, what about the young people of River State that need jobs, that need to find work? Who cares about them? So, if I haven't had the chance to talk to anybody from that state, so with respect to what's been going on, this and that, this person's trying to push this person out here. You heard Fubara in that clip saying we're going to talk about the main issues of River State. Mr. Fubara, I think you need to talk about your state attracting foreign foreign investment. You didn't get any in terms of the last numbers that came in for capital importation. You haven't had any major announcements of any major companies that have announced any groundbreaking events, in your state. So Rivers State really needs to get its act together in terms of its economic metrics and get past all this political brouhaha. Political
brouhaha. Is that how you describe the politics in Rivers State?
And that's why when somebody says we should be hopeful, we cannot be hopeful unless we go past the political brouhaha. The reason why these guys have never talked about jobs with how rich Rivers State is because they do not care. As long as you keep getting a bunch of people that do not care into power, then you will never get Nigeria right. So, getting the electoral process right is getting Nigeria right. Nothing will ever work. People will have to pack their bags up, and that's why they're not coming out to vote. The voters' numbers are reducing by the day. Concerning what Edwin Clark, which I have so much respect, was saying, yes, Wike must be disciplined, but also shame on the PDP. When the PDP was collecting Wike's money and praising him to the high heavens, they didn't know they were making a monster out of him. When they said, he had played so much role in the party and he was larger than life, they didn't know they were making a monster out of him. So now that people are beneath him, he's been able to, let me use the Nigerian phrase, kolobi people to his side. And now you are saying he must leave. Wike is not going anywhere. I'm a realist to the core. Edwin Clark, Wike is not leaving the PDP. He has held the party by the jugulars. There's nothing they're going to do to him. And there are many people that owe him something in the party as we speak today, and nothing is going to happen. They're not going to touch him. The earlier we realize that in trying so much to push people to the high heavens, we are also building monsters out of them, where we ought to check them, the better it is for us. Fubara doesn't have a choice. If he cross carpets now, he's going to be in deep trouble. I know he's grouse. The PDP governors have not come up to speak for him and all of that. He feels pained. Yeah. He can't fight Wike alone. But let's not also forget, and like you asked rightly, Rotus, what do you expect? Fubara was a beneficiary of this same Wike system. Wike brought him in there. So if he wants to act holier than thou, they remind him that did he campaign for himself to win the elections? Let's ask him that question. And that's the reason why they will never fix the unemployment. 2 years ago, we had, and I'll give you an answer, Rotus. 2 years ago or 3 years ago, the last time we had Governor Wike here, he was still governor then, Dr. Abati and I interviewed him. And I pushed the same questions you push to him. Ask me what he replied with. He said he's building bridges. Governor Wike told me he's building bridges. And I said, bridges do not create employment. He said, no, leave it alone. He creates employment. If you build one bridge now, you have many casual workers. He said that's his own way to create employment. In fact, let me tell you what he said. Rotus, Mr. Statistics. Yep. He said the MBS statistics are fake about Rivers State. So is it people that don't even appreciate the things you say here are those ones that are going to fix the state?
That's why constituents have to hold their elected officials accountable. They have to hold your governors accountable.
I agree with you in terms of holding governors or your elected officials accountable, but also there's a responsibility of trust that is placed on those leaders to actually deliver based on on the people's mandates. And it's only unfortunately during election campaign season that they come out to talk about what they're going to do, but most of the time it falls flat, nothing there. But let me just talk about Edwin Clark's letter. This is his third letter to the acting chairman, national chairman of the PDP. And he made some salient points in the letter, even though to the extent to which it would be listened to or to what merit it would have, I don't know. Like I mentioned, third letter, if the first two didn't carry, didn't effect a lot of change, I don't know what hope we have for this third letter. But he still took the opportunity as an elder statesman and a chieftain of the PDP to express some of the things and recommendations he thought should happen for the PDP to remain. In fact, he said he's in the process of writing a book about whether or not the PDP to go or not to go. There's a title of that. It's detailed in the This Day newspaper of today. One of the things he said very clearly was that in order for the party to move forward, they must be able to discipline erring members, and there should be no sacred cows in the person of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike. What he has expressed in his letter is not different from what we have expressed a number of times on this table. We've asked critical questions, and even when we've had spokespersons from the PDP or chieftains from the PDP, the question has been recurrent. Why are they not handling this situation, this monster that has become the Wike situation? I'm not saying Wike himself is a monster before I'm quoted out of context. What I'm saying is that the situation, the first time when he created the G5 movement or G5 governors, nothing was done. A man who came out clearly to work against your party at the presidential election, didn't hide it, wasn't shy about it, came out boldly, and even got some, some alliances within the party to disrupt the party's chances at the polls, and nothing was done to him. Yet someone comes out to speak about the party and they're suspended or they're even expelled. These are things to look out for. The next thing, of course, he spoke about is even the complicity of the acting national chairman, saying he himself has questions to answer, that he has acted against the constitution of the party by taking the National Working Committee to court, and even says that he's working with some detractors of the party against the party. The PDP, if it doesn't put its house together, is fast losing its ground as main opposition party, and this will be further worsened if Fubara leaves the party because, leaves the party because Restates is one of their strongholds as PDP. So we'll continue to see this drama unfold. Let's see if this letter would go to any extent, but hopefully they'll take the advice of Edwin Clark. Let's move on to our next story this morning. Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has formally written to the police stating why NLC President Joe Ajaero could not honor an invitation by the police yesterday. Ajaero was billed to appear before the police investigation team yesterday for interrogation over allegations of terrorism financing and treasonable felony. But the Labour movement urged the police to shift the date to August 29. However, in light of the budding face-off between the Labour Union and the Nigeria Police, NLC asked its members to be ready to commence a nationwide strike if need be. NLC said Ajaero's summon was premised on an unfounded and politically motivated investigation into alleged terrorism financing, cybercrime, subversion, criminal conspiracy, and treasonable felony.
As a committed Labour Centre, that we agreed or that we abide by the rule of law and due process. We will honor the invitation of the Nigerian police because we are not faceless organization, but we believe that we need an extension of time after consultation with our lawyers, because this invitation was extended to the Congress President yesterday and asked to report at the police by 10 a.m. today. So we are already working with our lawyers to look for extension of time. But this does not legitimize the charges by the Nigerian police to the Congress leadership.
Nationwide strike, Rotus.
Yeah, that's a little excessive, right?
There's a little excessive around, police and all about the
it's just
strike.
they're nothing if not dramatic over at the NLC. But look, again, we've said this over and over again. If there are any, legitimate evidence to show that he has been funneling money to support terrorism financing, then prove it. It should be out there by now. It should have been leaked online or so on and so forth. So, he should get his legal counsel together and be able to respond when needed. But to call another, who's going to come out and strike? People are tired.
What's the numbers of how much we lose during the strike?
Yeah, productivity will be hit now. Productivity will be hit.
But I think there's over 400 or 600 billion the last time we had. Truth is, he has called his legal counsel already. Femi Falana has responded, and they're saying he's going to visit the police on the 29th of August. But what this labor workers are saying is the fact that, they're going to come out to strike if anything is done before then. The truth has to be said, they're being hypocritical. Is it not the same labor? The reason why I'm going to speak for them is because I speak for justice across, but not because of this same labor that I know that is being hypocritical. This same labor that, when it was time to stand up and be counted, people were talking about hardship. They went ahead, they signed a deal with government that didn't address most of the concerns. They took Nigerians on a merry-go-round for lots and lots of months. Part of their initial request and ask was the CNG. Yeah. That's not been fixed. The refinery is working. That's not been fixed. Many of their concerns, that's not been fixed. They went to sing Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya with President Tinubu.
Factually, they didn't sing that.
No, factually, they didn't sing President Kumbaya, but they said in Soweto in Africa. And they said 3 Gbosa for Tinubu. That's another way of singing Kumbaya, my Lord, Kumbaya. They came back with 70,000. They lied to Nigerians that they're going to go address the matter with their team again and come back what they decide. Till today, they've not told us anything. Yeah, I know that there's been a little high-handedness on the part of police. And like you said rightly, Rotos, if they have anything, they said the police had arrested the foreigner and said there was some association with them. If they had anything, they should prove it. But this NLC calling for a nationwide strike now, and you want us to come out with you. Where were you when the hunger protests were going on? I'll tell you what one of them said when the hunger protest was going on.
Tell us.
Agnes Sessi, enter Agnes Sessi, my lovely sister, chief of NLC in Lagos. Guess what she said? Don't come and strike in Lagos. You can go to your state and strike. So you want to strike in Lagos now because of Ajero in it? Agnes Sessi? Because you were on the news yesterday. And you were also saying we are waiting for the center. When the center tells us to strike, we'll strike. So you will have the unmitigated temerity to strike in Lagos. When the hunger protesters were going on strike, you say, don't come and strike in Lagos. Go and strike in your own state, Abi. You can see the hypocrisy. It's writ large. But we must respect the rights of the people. We must talk against high-handedness in this country. Ajero said 29th, if he can make it, his lawyers, Falana says, is going to be there with him. Let them be there with him on the 29th. Let him answer the charges, and let's get to the end of all of this.
All right. Thank you so much. On the surface of things, if an allegation has been made and he's been invited for questioning, the responsible thing to do is to go in to answer the questions. But it's also important to see the deficit of trust in these matters, whereby it's seen that the justice system, which should be fair to all, is used as a weapon when views or positions do not align. I'm not saying this is the case. What I'm saying is that when it happens like this, the reason why a man like Mr. Ajero, Comrade Ajero, would resist going to answer questions is because he doesn't trust the process, doesn't trust the system. Irrespective of that, the proper thing for him to do is when invited, it's just an opportunity to take questions or to respond to certain questions by security operatives, particularly on these charges that they're not small or light charges at all. They're significant charges, a matter of national security. And if that's the case, he should go into answer. But let me ask the security operatives what they are doing about others who have not come in when they've been invited to answer questions. Because it must be equal across board. If you cannot bring the former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, to come and answer questions about what he did in his state, then what? And then there's been a wanted, I don't know what kind of wanted poster or notice has been out there where they are unable to apprehend or to bring in for questioning a man who is not a spirit. So when you see things like that, you can see the disparity and the reason why the lack of trust deepens with the people and the security agencies, because it's not seen to be fair across boards. Now, I align with you with regards to the strike action. I'm like, is this how we call strike in Nigeria? Anything you call a strike and say everybody down your tools. Do you know how much is lost when Nigerians go on strike? Do you know the level? We're already complaining about level of productivity and lack of productivity. So what I'm saying is that strikes should not be called arbitrarily. It should be when it has to do with in defense of the people, or to push a strong point. If not, it will lose its effect, and then we're deepening people further into poverty without a cause that is solid. Let the NLC face off with it. They have a good working relationship with the president and the presidency. Let them go and negotiate there. Let them go and talk. At least when they showed the video of the last time when they were able to agree to the 70,000 naira minimum wage, and the fact that they now have a good relationship. Let them go and dialogue. Let there be engagement. Let there be diplomatic options explored, and don't put the people further into poverty because of what's going on.